All right, we are live. Kimberly is taking R&R for the day, but I have the wonderful Marcus Stephens here. If you can just give me a bit of background information on yourself.
Sure, thanks. Yeah, my name is Marcus Stephens with a PH. I have lots of things that I do to keep me busy. Part of my life is starting a business in which I focus on diversity and team effectiveness. So I get to talk a lot with companies about how to build environments where people work together effectively. Have a background in IT and technology, so my degrees in computer science. So I was a co-singer for a while, and then did some work. And then got promoted and did work with knowledge management and other types of topics. And when I was a developer, I was obsessed with games, and I think that there's a strong correlation between learning and gaming. So one of my other passions is developing a game that gives love to the social and racial justice movement, while at the same time is a ton of fun and allows people to learn some things while they're playing.
Right. So the topic for the night is going to be diversity and a upcoming game jam.
Right. Complete inability to receive feedback. Like, I'm trying to give you the feedback that this is impossible and here's a better way to do it, and they're to completely not listen. So we had a feedback issue, a trust issue, and a relationship issue. Is that a fair summary?
Yeah. Right. Yes.
And again, dude, hundreds of people, same 6 issues. And I'll tell you what they were. Collusion, which we haven't talked about. That's like talking behind people's backs. So collusion, feedback, accountability, trust, sensitivity, and relationship. I'm not literally every single person, except for like one person. Aside from that one guy, literally every single person I talked to for years gave an answer that fell into one of those 6 categories, just like you just did. So what I began to create was a model that said, clearly, this is the kind of culture that can optimize diversity. It's a culture that focuses on relationships, but in very specific ways. Like, if you're a person in this organization, there are 6 things you got to be good at. You got to be good at giving and receiving feedback. You got to be good at giving and receiving trust. You got to be good at relationships. And so you can do the checklist. And so there's a long-winded answer to your question, and I apologize for that. But, your original question was, if I'm at work with people who don't share the same values as me, or I just don't like them, or I don't want to go to work, I don't want to hang out with them after work, but relationships are critical to a successful culture, how do you balance those two?
Right.
And the answer is that you establish a culture that says, y'all need to be good at 6 things. You need to be good at collusion, feedback, accountability, sensitivity, trust, and relationship. You can be good at 6 things, and I can measure how good you are at each one of those things. So by focusing the culture on relationships in a very specific series of categories, now you're able to say, I can have a culture where if you're bad at feedback, I can send you a feedback training. If you're bad at relationships, I can send you a relationship training. Like, it's not sort of general nebulous stuff. It's like very specifically, here's a skill you can get better at year over year. That has a gigantic impact because I don't have to worry about relationship stuff. I just got to know, oh, that was a feedback issue. I threw the guy's stuff in the garbage can. He'd been laboring over it heroically for weeks and weeks or however long it was. That was a terrible commentary on our relationship. And it was a terrible way to receive his feedback. So now you know how to be better next time. You see, it makes the whole idea of a culture measurable in unitary chunks. So that's kind of what my company does. My company says, what's happening in your relationships? Let's measure them. Let's diagnose those relationships. Fix those. Now you have a shot at creating a culture that's based on healthy relationships.